Welcome to the Night Shadows channel. Get ready to dive into a new horror story. Put on your headphones, turn off the lights, and let your mind wander through the darkest corners of imagination. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily stories. Now, take a deep breath and step into the story, if you dare. This is from the ancient texts, she murmured, tracing the outline of the symbol with her fingertips. It's a warning, a binding spell meant to contain the darkness. Suddenly, the whispers intensified, filling the air with a cacophony of voices, each one rising and falling like a tide of despair. Clara recoiled, heart racing, as shadows began to coalesce in the corners of the room, their forms shifting and writhing like smoke. "Tomas, we need to get out of here!" Clara shouted, fear clawing at her throat. But as they turned to flee, the shadows surged forward, blocking their path. Clara felt the temperature drop, a bone-chilling cold seeping into her bones. "You cannot escape," a voice hissed from the darkness, low and menacing. "You have awakened us." Clara's heart pounded wildly in her chest, the reality of their situation crashing over her like a wave. The darkness they had thought vanquished was not just returning. It was stronger, more vengeful, and it was ready to claim its victims. "No!" Clara shouted, summoning every ounce of courage within her. "We will not be your prey." With a fierce determination, Clara grabbed Tomas' hand, pulling him toward the entrance. "We have to warn the villagers. They need to know what we've uncovered." As they pushed through the shadows, Clara could feel the darkness clawing at her, trying to drag her back into its depths. But the bond she shared with Tomas gave her strength, a lifeline pulling her through the encroaching night. Just as they burst through the door, the shadows let out an agonized wail, a sound that reverberated through the air, chilling Clara to her very core. She turned back for a moment, catching a glimpse of the darkness swirling inside the mill, a storm of fury and rage, hungry for revenge. "Run!" she urged Tomas, adrenaline fueling their escape as they raced back to the village. As they arrived, Clara could see the villagers gathered, their faces etched with concern. "Clara! Tomas! What happened?" Ms. Elena rushed forward, eyes wide with fear. "The darkness, it's not gone!" Clara gasped, breathless. "It's stronger than ever, and it's been awakened by our rituals. We need to prepare ourselves. We're in danger." The crowd fell silent, shock rippling through them like a dark wave. "We thought we had driven it away," one villager murmured, fear creeping into his voice. "We thought wrong," Tomas added, stepping forward, urgency in his tone. "We have to band together, gather our strength, and face this threat before it consumes us all." Clara felt the weight of the villagers' eyes upon her, a mixture of fear and determination reflected in their expressions. They had faced the darkness once before, but now, it felt different, more powerful, more intent on reclaiming what it had lost. As Clara looked into the eyes of her friends and neighbors, she knew that the time for doubt was over. "We must stand united," she declared, her voice steady and resolute. "We have faced our fears before, and we will do it again. We will not let the darkness win." With those words, Clara felt a flicker of hope ignite within her, a spark that would guide them through the coming storm. But deep down, she could feel the shadows looming, ready to pounce at any moment, and she knew that this battle would test their strength and resolve like never before. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the village in a twilight haze, Clara's heart raced with anticipation. The darkness was gathering, and she could feel its breath on the back of her neck. It was a storm on the horizon, and they would need every ounce of courage to weather it. The battle for their souls had just begun, and Clara was ready to face whatever horrors lay ahead. The night cloaked the village in a suffocating silence, broken only by the distant rustle of leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. Clara stood at the edge of the woods, her heart pounding as she surveyed the darkness surrounding her. She felt a sense of foreboding settle in her stomach, a heavy weight that mirrored the looming threat of the shadows they had awakened. With the villagers gathered in the town square, Clara had decided to lead a scouting party to the outskirts of the forest. They needed to gather information and prepare for the impending confrontation with the darkness. Tomas, along with a few brave villagers, stood at her side, their faces grim but resolute. "Are we sure this is wise?" Elda, one of the elder villagers, asked, her voice trembling slightly. "The woods have always been a place of danger, especially at night." Clara turned to her, determination hardening her gaze. "We can't afford to wait and let the darkness take the initiative. We have to confront it head-on, understand its movements. We need to know what we're up against." As they ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew heavier, charged with an energy that made Clara's skin prickle. The shadows twisted and danced between the trees, creating an unsettling tapestry of darkness. She clutched her lantern tightly, its flickering flame a fragile beacon against the encroaching night. "Stay close," Tomas murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. The others followed suit, each step echoing through the thick silence like a heartbeat in the dark. The deeper they ventured, the more Clara felt the weight of unseen eyes watching them from the shadows. It was as if the forest itself was alive, breathing, and waiting. "Do you hear that?" Clara paused, straining to catch any sound over the rustling leaves. A low hum vibrated through the air, a chilling melody that sent shivers down her spine. It seemed to beckon them further into the woods, drawing them closer to the heart of the darkness. "What is that?" Elda's voice quivered, fear evident in her eyes. "I don't know," Clara admitted, but a dark curiosity compelled her forward. "We need to find the source." As they pressed on, the humming grew louder, wrapping around them like a shroud. Clara felt the pull of the melody, a strange and alluring force that resonated deep within her. It was both beautiful and terrifying, a siren call that promised answers but whispered of doom. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shifted, and Clara stumbled as a tremor pulsed through the earth. "What was that?" she exclaimed, panic rising in her throat. The trees around them began to sway violently, their branches twisting as if in agony. A gust of wind howled through the forest, chilling Clara to the bone. She felt a rush of adrenaline, instinctively stepping back. "We need to go, now!" But it was too late. From the depths of the forest, a figure emerged, cloaked in shadows, its form shifting and writhing as if composed of the darkness itself. Clara's breath caught in her throat as she stared into its glowing eyes, which burned with a malevolent intensity. "Foolish mortals," it hissed, its voice a haunting echo that seemed to reverberate through the very fabric of reality. "You dared to challenge the shadows? Who are you?" Clara managed to choke out, her heart racing. The darkness coalesced around the figure, twisting into a shape that was both mesmerizing and horrifying. "What do you want from us?" "I am the darkness you thought you defeated," it replied, laughter like the rattling of chains filling the air. "You think your rituals can bind me? I am the nightmare that feeds on your fears, and you have merely awakened my hunger." The villagers recoiled, a chorus of gasps and murmurs of fear echoing in the night. Clara felt her heart pound violently